The illusion of the Sussex global empire is not just cracking, it is shattering in real time. This is a breaking news update for the morning of April 4th, 2026. While the world remembers the $100 million deals and the private jets of 2020, the reality of this morning is far more humiliating. We have obtained details of a leaked internal communication that confirms the Duchess of Sussex is no longer being chased by Hollywood. Instead, she is the one doing the chasing, and she is doing it with a level of desperation that was once unthinkable. It started with an email sent at exactly 2:15 p.m. on March 15th from a senior staffer at the Archewell office. The subject line read, "Priority collaboration proposal for the Duchess's appearance." This email was not sent to Disney. It was not sent to Paramount or Warner Brothers. It was sent to the assistant of an Australian podcast host named Gemma, a woman currently embroiled in a massive tax scandal with the Australian government. Think about the sheer scale of this collapse. Only 6 years ago, every major studio on the planet was knocking on their door, offering blank checks. Today, the Duchess is engaging in what industry insiders call a reverse negotiation. In a reported exchange between an Archewell representative and Gemma's team, the narrative was staggering. The Archewell staffer reportedly said, and I quote, "The Duchess is willing to waive her usual 7-figure appearance fee in exchange for full editorial control and a guaranteed headline slot." Gemma's team, sensing the desperation, did not jump at the offer. Their reported response was cold. "We are currently reviewing our guest list based on local market viability." Let that sink in. Meghan Markle, a woman who once shared a stage with Queen Elizabeth II, was put on a waiting list by a struggling podcast host in Australia. If you find the shift in power as shocking as I do, please hit that like button right now and subscribe. It helps us keep these investigations going against the Sussex PR machine. Comment below with the word exposed if you think the Hollywood era is officially over for them. The physical reality of this flop era is even more grim. On April 2nd, 2026, just 2 days ago, hotel staff at the Langham in Sydney confirmed that a small advance team for Meghan arrived to inspect the venue. They were not looking at the Grand Ballroom or the penthouse suites. They were directed to Ballroom 3. To put this in perspective, Ballroom 3 is a tiny 200 square meter space. It is the kind of room you book for a local dental convention, a mid-tier cosmetics launch, or a regional sales meeting. An eyewitness at the hotel described the scene as uncomfortably tense. The advance team reportedly complained about the lack of a private service entrance, to which hotel management simply replied that the room did not justify special security protocols. Meghan Markle is heading to a room designed for teeth whitening seminars, and she reportedly had to beg for the privilege of being there. How did we get from the pinnacle of Netflix to the depths of a Sydney conference room? It is the result of what experts call brand fatigue. Americans have had 6 years of the same complaints, the same stories, and the same lack of substance. The Australian public is even less forgiving. Outside the Sydney Convention Centre this morning, posters have already appeared with the slogan, "Not our Duchess." The locals are outraged that a woman claiming to be a global humanitarian is partnering with a host accused of tax evasion just to stay relevant. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have squandered the opportunity of a lifetime. They traded royal duty for a celebrity status that they lacked the talent to maintain. Now the bills are coming due. The inventory for Meghan Markle's lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, is reportedly sitting in warehouses, unmoved, because the Sussex spark has turned into a Sussex scorch. This Australian trip is not a victory lap. It is a salvage mission. Meghan Markle is trying to prove she can still draw a crowd, even if she has to pay for the stage herself. But as we look at the empty seats and the mounting legal issues surrounding her partners, the question is not if she will flop, it is how much further she can fall. Stay with us as we move into part 2, where we break down the secret legal ultimatum King Charles III has just sent to Prince Harry regarding their return to the United Kingdom. You do not want to miss the specific terms of that document. Hit the notification bell so you are the first to know when the next file drops. This is the end of the Sussex era as we know it. To understand the desperation unfolding in Sydney this morning, we must look at the data. This is not a sudden downturn. It is a 6-year trajectory of a brand that believed it was too big to fail. The forensic timeline of the Sussex decline reveals a series of calculated risks that have all resulted in the same outcome: total irrelevance. The peak was September 2020. From their mansion in Santa Barbara, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced a staggering $100 million deal with Netflix. At that moment, they held a position of absolute phantom power in Hollywood. They were the most sought-after content creators on the planet. Despite having no track record of production, they were selling a dream, and the industry bought it. But dreams require maintenance. By December 2022, the release of their self-titled documentary achieved record-breaking viewership, but it triggered the first major shift in public sentiment. The professional whining narrative took root. Audiences began to notice a pattern, a lack of vision compensated by an abundance of grievance. The true credibility fracture occurred in January 2023 with the global release of the memoir Spare. This was the moment the mask slipped. The world was treated to intimate, unnecessary details, from frostbitten anatomy to teenage escapades, that effectively turned a prince of the realm into a late-night talk show punchline. It was at this exact moment that Jack Royston of Newsweek officially declared the beginning of the flop era. The prestige was gone, replaced by a morbid curiosity that was rapidly fading into boredom. The downward spiral accelerated in May 2024 during their high-profile trip to Nigeria. While the Sussex PR machine labelled it a royal tour in all but name, investigative media focused on something far more serious: the African Park scandal. Reports of horrific human rights abuses at a charity where Prince Harry served on the board were met with a deafening silence from Montecito. The hypocrisy was laid bare. One investigative journalist was quoted saying, "You cannot lecture the world on compassion while ignoring the cries for help in your own backyard." By October 2025, the financial consequences became undeniable. In Los Angeles, insiders revealed that Meghan Markle's lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, was facing a catastrophic deadstock crisis. Estimates suggested that 80% of the initial inventory remained sitting in climate-controlled warehouses. The Sussex spark had failed to ignite consumer interest. Without a Netflix renewal, and with massive overheads, the cash flow crisis became a reality. This was the catalyst for the Australian pivot. Fast forward to January 2026. The Australian Tax Office in Canberra issued a formal notice of investigation into the financial contributions surrounding the Her Best Life event. The host, Gemma, saw her corporate accounts frozen. This is the entity Meghan Markle chose to align herself with. It was not a choice made out of shared values. It was a choice made out of a lack of options. This brings us to the present, the morning of April 4th, 2026. In a stunning departure from her usual demands for private aviation, Meghan Markle is reportedly landing in Sydney on a commercial flight. There are no red carpets. There are no diplomatic motorcades. Instead, an estimated 300 local protesters have gathered at the arrivals terminal, holding signs that question the Duchess's integrity. One witness at the airport described the atmosphere as icy. The local sentiment has shifted from curiosity to open hostility. As Meghan Markle prepares to step into that 200 square metre room at the Sydney Convention Centre, she is walking into a situation of her own making. But as the Australian government prepares to scrutinise her business ties, a far more serious development is reportedly unfolding back in London. There are whispers of a classified document currently sitting on the desk of the Home Secretary. A document that could affect Prince Harry's legal battles in ways he may not have anticipated. What does the character test under Australian law mean for a Duchess in distress? The answers are beginning to emerge. Beyond the flashing lights of Sydney Harbour and the curated Instagram posts, there is a calculated three-step operation at work. This is what some industry insiders are calling a rebranding strategy, a mechanism designed to keep a struggling brand relevant. As the situation unfolds at the Sydney Convention Centre, the structure of this strategy is becoming more visible. The first phase is what some experts term parasitic branding. The strategy is simple: identify a host already in crisis. In this case, the focus is on Gemma and her Best Life platform. Gemma appears to be a fitting candidate, a podcast host reportedly facing tax scrutiny and declining listenership. The proposal from the Sussex camp was presented as a potential lifeline. According to a reported leak from the Events Planning Committee, the pitch was, the Duchess will appear for free, providing the prestige needed to stabilise your platform. However, there was reportedly an exclusivity clause. In exchange for her appearance, Meghan Markle requested control over raw footage and broadcast rights. This suggests the appearance may also serve as a content-gathering opportunity for future media use. Rather than purely supporting the host, the event could double as a way to generate high-quality footage for future distribution, either through streaming platforms or a personal digital relaunch. Once the host was secured, the strategy moved to step 2, the scarcity myth. For weeks, headlines in Sussex-friendly tabloids claimed that VIP tickets, priced at $3,000 Australian, were nearly sold out. This is a common PR tactic used to create perceived demand. However, reports suggest a different reality. Internal seating manifests for Ballroom 3 indicate that a notable portion of these tickets may not have been sold commercially. Instead, they were reportedly distributed to local influencers and selected community groups under non-disclosure agreements. The goal appears to be ensuring a full audience for visual presentation, creating the impression of high demand and exclusivity. This creates a perception strategy: set a high price point to signal luxury, then fill seats strategically to maintain that image. The final phase is what critics describe as an emotional firewall. This involves shifting narratives when difficult questions arise. For example, when questions reportedly surfaced about a $500,000 consultancy fee linked to art jewel and event organizers, the conversation was redirected. During a pre-event briefing, inquiries about financial details were reportedly met with discussions of Meghan Markle's personal experiences and the emotional themes of the event. By focusing on sensitive issues, such as grief or mental health, the discussion moves away from financial scrutiny. Critics argue that this can make further questioning appear insensitive, creating a barrier to deeper investigation. As the doors to Ballroom 3 open, this strategy faces increasing pressure. The Australian public response suggests a more critical reception than expected. With the Australian Tax Office reportedly monitoring aspects of the event, this rebranding effort may be facing its first significant real-world test. Even as the room fills with carefully selected attendees, a larger development may be unfolding elsewhere. In London, a senior official at the Home Office has reportedly requested a full transcript of the Sydney event. The outcome could have implications for Prince Harry's standing within the Commonwealth, depending on what emerges once the narrative control is no longer maintained. The true cost of this free appearance may soon become clear. As the morning sun hits the glass of the Sydney Convention Centre, the conversation has shifted away from the Duchess's wardrobe and toward a set of documents that could potentially impact the Sussex's position within the Commonwealth. We are no longer talking about hurt feelings or royal rifts. We are now looking at what some describe as an authority staircase, a series of escalating legal pressures reportedly affecting both Prince Harry and Meghan Markle across 2 continents. At the base of this structure is a reported federal court warrant, referenced as number 88 US. According to claims, this mandate has drawn significant attention within Sydney's business community. It reportedly calls for clarification of a $500,000 consultancy fee transferred from the Art Jewel Foundation in the United States to the private entity managing Gemma's Her Best Life event. The legal question centres on whether such a transfer aligns with Australian regulations. Under local law, a tax-exempt charity is expected to provide clear documentation when funding a for-profit entity. Authorities are reportedly seeking details on what services were provided in exchange for the payment. If discrepancies are found between documentation and actual services, this could raise concerns about financial compliance. However, any conclusions would depend on official findings. While Meghan Markle reportedly faces scrutiny in Sydney, Prince Harry is dealing with a separate controversy in London. Reports from outlets such as Newsweek and The Times claim that inconsistencies have emerged regarding his recent court testimony. According to these reports, Prince Harry stated under oath that he was unaware he was communicating with a journalist, identified as Charlotte Griffith of the Daily Mail, and that he ended contact upon discovering her profession. However, digital records referenced in these reports suggest an extended period of communication. These records allegedly indicate ongoing exchanges over several weeks and reference the use of a pseudonym. If verified, such discrepancies could raise serious legal questions, as providing inaccurate statements under oath in the United Kingdom can carry legal consequences. That said, any determination would ultimately rest with the courts. This situation connects to what is being described as the character test under Section 501 of the Australian Migration Act. Under this law, non-citizens may face visa issues if they are found to be associated with unlawful conduct or fail to meet certain character standards. If ongoing investigations into financial dealings were to uncover wrongdoing, it could potentially affect Meghan Markle's legal standing in Australia. However, this remains speculative unless confirmed by official rulings. At the same time, reports suggest that a former member of the Her Best Life team may have provided information to Australian authorities, including a recorded conversation. The contents and impact of this material, however, have not been independently verified. As midday approaches in Sydney on April 4, 2026, analysts and commentators are evaluating possible outcomes. The Sussex brand is increasingly described as being at a crossroads, with several potential scenarios ahead. One possible outcome, sometimes referred to as the Sydney siege, suggests that rising tensions outside venues like the Langham Hotel could disrupt scheduled events. Reports indicate that protests have formed and that local authorities are monitoring the situation. If public safety concerns escalate, there is a possibility that events could be postponed or cancelled. In such a case, Meghan Markle may leave without achieving the intended outcomes of the trip. Another potential scenario involves a quieter outcome, where the event proceeds but fails to generate the expected impact. At this stage, much remains uncertain. What is clear is that both Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are navigating a complex and highly scrutinised period, with developments unfolding across multiple fronts. This is the middle ground scenario, and in many ways, it is the one the Duchess fears most. Here, the event proceeds in that 200 square metre room, but the world's media simply looks away. No major networks pick up the clips. No A-list celebrities send messages of support. The room is filled with paid seat fillers offering polite, rehearsed applause. This is the quiet decline of a brand, the transition from global icon to a minor footnote in the history of celebrity influencers. When the world stops reacting and simply stops paying attention, the Sussex business model, built on high-intensity media attention, begins to fade. However, the third and most likely scenario is what some describe as the pay-to-talk strategy. In this version, the outcome is carefully managed in advance. We may see a series of curated photos appearing in lower-tier tabloids within 48 hours, showing Meghan Markle smiling in front of a strategically framed audience to suggest success. But a closer look may reveal that such coverage is promotional rather than organic. This approach can function as a way to maintain public visibility while repositioning behind the scenes. Reports suggest that even as Meghan Markle appears on stage in Sydney, discussions about a possible long-term move to Portugal may be underway. The idea, according to speculation, is to create distance while navigating increasing scrutiny from financial authorities in different countries. At its core, this situation reflects a shift in bargaining power. In 2020, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were seen as major cultural figures attracting large-scale deals. Today, critics argue that they are working harder to maintain that same level of visibility. Rather than being pursued by major platforms, they may now be actively seeking opportunities to stay in the public conversation. As this strategy unfolds, reports have also suggested that a potential witness connected to the $500,000 Archewell payment has come forward. According to these claims, the individual may have knowledge of internal dealings. However, no official confirmation has been made public. What happens after the cameras turn off in Ballroom 3 remains uncertain. At the same time, developments in London are adding another layer to the story. Reports claim that on April 4, 2026, King Charles III signed a document related to the future status of the Sussex titles. While details remain unverified, the discussion centres on whether new rules could affect royal titles in cases involving commercial activity linked to ongoing investigations. If such provisions were formally applied, they could have implications for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. However, no official confirmation of enforcement has been publicly established. What makes this situation notable is the timing. The Sydney appearance, intended as a strategic move, may now coincide with broader legal and institutional scrutiny. According to some interpretations, participation in events linked to organisations under investigation could trigger further review under royal or governmental frameworks. Still, these claims remain speculative unless confirmed by official sources. Ultimately, what was intended as a rebranding effort may instead mark a turning point. Whether this becomes a temporary setback or a more permanent shift will depend on how events unfold in the coming days. For now, the Sussex story appears to be entering a new phase, one defined less by major announcements and more by uncertainty, scrutiny, and evolving public perception.